It's time for your Friday Business Report with 680 Business Editor Mike Eppel. He's at the remote 680 Business studio there, Mike, at your home. President Donald Trump not pulling any punches.
No, this restart of a trade battle all of a sudden, Adrian. Good morning.
Out of nowhere.
Well, look, we're, about 90 days from the U.S. vote. The president's poll numbers have not been great recently. And all of a sudden, we've got the restart of tariffs on Canadian aluminum exports, a topic that we had thought had been put to bed with the new NAFTA being signed and put into effect just a few weeks back. But lo and behold, the U.S. producers are accusing Canada of dumping aluminum at below market prices into the U.S. market. The federal government has said, well, then that means we have to put our own tariffs on U.S. exports under the rules of NAFTA. But this goes back into the trade courts, and it's going to take months to figure out. So in the short term, a dent to the economy in the midst of a pandemic of all things. And it's also interesting that a lot of these aluminum producers, Alcoa, one of the biggest names, it's multinational. It's based in the U.S., but has a lot of operations here in Canada. And they're kind of saying, yeah, we don't need tariffs right now. But other producers say they do. So that's one issue that the Trump administration is all of a sudden raising again on the trade front.
Do you think, how much is this like a diversion? You mentioned, his approval ratings aren't doing great. Is he trying to throw things at the wall to see what sticks, to see what can kind of change up the conversation a little bit?
You heard what he said. What he said last night was basically all about U.S. manufacturing, right? And that has been one of his mantras since getting into office, rebuilding the U.S. manufacturing base. Aluminum is one of the big industries, certainly, anything related to steel or aluminum production. So, yeah, it likely just comes back to politicals and an upcoming vote.
Now, flipping the script over to Uber, we know that people have been, myself included, lots of people ordering in food during this COVID crisis, though some of the numbers aren't really checking out for Uber right now.
Well, the Uber Eats app portion of the business has actually seen a doubling of revenue. You're right. People are saying just go onto the app and bring food in as opposed to going out. That was certainly a trend. Uber ride-hailing, not so much. Revenue for that part of the business was down 25% because, again, people weren't traveling as much within the city. So Uber lost money, a $1.5 billion loss for the latest quarter. This company is, it's still 10 years old or thereabouts, and whether it was poised to make money yet as it continues to grow the business was questionable. Nevertheless, the stock is down 4%. Pre-market investors kind of going, okay. Well, we'll see how the recovery continues.
Now, with everyone staying home as well, people were getting their gaming on. Nintendo, seeing some...
Nintendo's profits up by 400% plus in sales.
Surprise,
for
surprise.
the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, there you go, Super Mario. Super earnings for Nintendo. And again, this was the trends that we saw for, the maker of the Xbox, for example, or PlayStation. Sony had a great quarter, too, because people are just sitting around playing video games because they couldn't go out for a good portion of the second quarter. Incidentally, Adrian, the other thing that we're watching this morning, these new trends and what has been popular, apps related to TikTok and WeChat and everybody, on the kids today, so to speak, on those. And on the trade front, the U.S. president last night said that within 45 days, they're going to actually ban U.S. companies from doing business with the Chinese owners of TikTok and WeChat. One is ByteDance, and the other is Tencent. Tencent's publicly traded, and it's down 4%. So, again, you've got a trade battle between Canada and the U.S. and China and the U.S. So on and on it goes here.
They'll take on anyone they can right now.
Microsoft might buy all of TikTok, by the way, as it turns out. Remember we were talking about that earlier in the week, about them just buying the U.S. assets. Might be the whole thing.
We'll see what happens. Mr. Eppel, thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Have a fantastic weekend.
You too.
All right.